been waiting for this one. A young apprentice hunter moves to Ireland with her father in order to take out the last wolf pack, but then everything changed, not when the Fire Nation attacked, but when she meets a free-spirited girl who can transform into a wolf at night. Wolfwalkers is Cartoon Saloon's latest animated movie, and so far Cartoon Saloon has a very good track record. All their past animated movies, all 3 of them, have been nominated for Best Animated Feature at the Oscars. So once I finished their previous movie for the first time, The Breadwinner, I got really excited for their next one, which was Wolfwalkers. And it's Cartoon Saloon. Are we surprised? Are we surprised they made a good movie? It's Cartoon Saloon, so of course the animation is sensational, and of course the soundtrack is beautiful. It's composed by Bruno Coulet. He composed the soundtrack for Coraline and Song of the Sea, which is definitely my favorite, if you couldn't tell from my Coraline commentary. And with Wolfwalkers, I could tell that there was some imagery and just little things in the background or stuff in the dialogue that was referencing past Cartoon Saloon movies. There's a particular waterfall that looks really similar to one in Secret of Kells, and there's a shot of vines that kind of split in half like the Red Sea, and that was definitely giving me vibes of the great Shanaki's hair splitting in Song of the Sea. And the eye of Crumb, I don't know. The little eye glass thing from Secret of Kells made an appearance. That was kind of cool. And there's one point in the dialogue where Robin, the young hunter, mentions selkies.
Meet witches who cast spells, find mermaids, and selkies even.
Obviously, that's got to be a reference to Song of the Sea, or it could just be a reference to general Irish mythology. But I mean, it's whatever. I like the Easter egg. I like the reference. This movie is very different when it comes to its visuals and just stylization compared to past Cartoon Saloon movies. You can tell in some parts it's a lot rougher and not really finished, and I mean that in the best way possible, because according to Apple TV's Twitter account, that was the point. Usually when a character was on screen, you could still see the outline of their face. I don't really know anything about drawing, but you could see the basic lines, you know. I seriously just love the way this movie was stylized. When we see the Wolfwalkers, who are basically people who can turn into wolves when they're asleep, occasionally we get a shot from their perspective and we see sense in just every little sound around them that is visualized. If a wolf sees a bird, we see a trail of color behind them, basically as a visual representation of the scent, and I thought that was really cool. If a character needs to have an intimidating presence, their shadow becomes super, I don't know how to, scribbly? Usually it's projected onto a wall or a ground, like there's dedicated shots to it. Like if someone took a crayon and just scribbled it. It's really cool and it's effective because it actually makes them, you know, intimidating. Similar to Over the Moon and Into the Spider-Verse, Wolfwalkers use comic book panels, or just they split the screen into different sections, especially during the 3rd act. And it looks so great, and I seriously want to see more of that in animated movies. And honestly, just movies in general, it looks really cool. The 3rd act of Wolfwalkers overall is just so sensational. You have the comic book panels, and the climax overall was just freaking awesome. I cheered, I gasped, my jaw dropped. It truly was spectacular. And another thing I noticed in the 3rd act was the aspect ratio. I don't know the specific ratio, but I know during, again, intense scenes, the outline of the screen would become more scribbly and it got smaller and smaller, almost to the point where I was kind of claustrophobic, and I thought that was really great. Oh, and I forgot to mention, Aurora, the voice of the voice in Frozen 2. She sings the song during this movie, and it's during probably the best sequence of the movie. The song was something along the lines of Running with the Wolves, and it was catchy. Aurora has a great voice, and it's really nice to hear her in more animated movies since I guess she got her big break during Frozen 2, which she was good in. The song kind of sounded like one you would hear from Florence and the Machine or something. The vocals in particular were just very similar, and some of the character designs gave me Gravity Falls vibes. I'm not complaining, it just reminded me of it. Usually Cartoon Saloon movies have very geometric shapes, they're very curved, but I noticed with Wolfwalkers there's a lot more sharp edges and it's rough, and I think that is just a really great way to set your movie apart from your others. So Wolfwalkers is kind of a part of this unofficial trilogy. They all have the same director, Tom Moore. The trilogy is Secret of Kells, Song of the Sea, and Wolfwalkers. And what I really like about these movies is that they all have one specific color. The Secret of Kells has these super vibrant and lush greens. Song of the Sea has these beautiful shades of blue, and Wolfwalkers has these bright yellows. I don't know, I just love when movies have a set color palette. It's great. It's brilliant. However, do I have a couple issues with this movie? Yeah, they're not big. They didn't ruin the experience. They were just sort of couple issues I had. There's one plot point that's pretty easy to guess. It's not in the climax or anything. They kind of reveal it in the middle, but they kind of drag it on for a while. And after a little bit, I realized what the twist was before it was actually revealed. And for some reason, there was a Wilhelm scream in the climax. This isn't the first movie, let alone animated, to use the Wilhelm scream. I mean, it's one of the most famous screams ever. It's really intense, and I didn't really think it was necessary, so when I heard it, it kind of took me out of it. It's a pretty goofy scream to begin with, so you don't really need it in dramatic scenes. I don't think it's that necessary at all. I think the biggest issue I had for this movie was the villain. I don't remember him having an actual name, I just remember his title is Lord Protector. In my personal opinion, this is Cartoon Saloon's first legit villain. 4 movies in and they kind of have a legit villain now. With the villains or just antagonists in their past movies, they were either an entity that had a looming presence until the final act, a character who is misunderstood, or the character is an obstacle for the main character who gets tormented by them during the first and second act. But with this Lord Protector guy, he's evil, he has a looming presence throughout the entire movie. The scene where his character is introduced is pretty spooky, and it basically implies that he's the villain. He's not an awful character or villain. Personally, I think Maka was a better antagonist, and I guess, in my opinion, the best Cartoon Saloon villain, if you'll even want to call them that. I think the best way to describe this villain is he's kind of a discount Judge Claude Frollo from The Hunchback of Notre Dame. They're both in high positions of power who are religious but do evil stuff anyway. The Lord Protector even says witchcraft in a menacing tone at some point, a la Frollo. And during the climax, the Protector says something very similar to "and he shall smite the wicked and plunge them into the fiery pit." I was honestly kind of shocked how similar the wording was, and just both quotes basically mean the same thing. Even though they're worded differently, they mean the same thing. However, this Protector guy does something no Disney villain would do, not even Frollo. And I can't spoil it, obviously, but let's just say Frollo would be too prideful to do this action. And this guy is surprisingly a lot more religious than Frollo. I mean, this guy commits. Overall, Wolfwalkers was so freaking great. The wait was about, I would say, 3 years, and I think it was worth it. I love Cartoon Saloon, and now that Wolfwalkers is out, I'm pretty sure that Cartoon Saloon has cemented themselves as one of the best animation studios, and no one is talking about it, but okay, whatever. Take your time, I guess. As for my ranking for Cartoon Saloon movies, I would say Song of the Sea is still superior. Then following that would be Wolfwalkers, pretty close second. And then third, just behind Wolfwalkers, would be The Breadwinner, and below that would be The Secret of Kells. I actually love Song of the Sea so much that I have it on physical. Who has physical media anymore, am I right? But overall, Wolfwalkers was super great. It kind of sort of sucks that Wolfwalkers is exclusive to Apple TV Plus, because I don't know anyone who has it, and the only reason why I have it is because I have a year free since I upgraded to the iPhone 11 earlier this year. And apparently when you upgrade, you get an entire year free of Apple TV Plus, which I thought was cool. I do highly recommend checking out Wolfwalkers, but I can understand if it's a little hard to check it out because the service is $5 a month, which isn't that bad, but people are already paying enough for streaming services, and especially money can be tight during the pandemic, so I understand. But seriously, if you get the chance, check it out. Please, I beg of you. But if for any reason you can't check out Wolfwalkers, I highly recommend you check out some of Cartoon Saloon's other work, like Song of the Sea and The Breadwinner, which are both on Netflix. I'm not sure about The Secret of Kells though. I know it used to be on there, but now it's not anymore because streaming rights be like that. And next year, Cartoon Saloon will release a new animated movie, and it'll be a Netflix original, so it's definitely going to get more of a bigger audience. On the rainbow scale, Wolfwalkers is a blue movie, but seriously, I beg of you, if you can, and I really hope you can, please support international animation, indie movies, indie animation, whatever. Please, please, please check out Wolfwalkers. It's so great. So if you enjoyed this review of Wolfwalkers, you can comment, like, subscribe for future reviews and movie commentaries. And make sure you follow me on my social medias. Just what every other YouTuber says, they are linked in the description. And I'm always active on Letterboxd, so you should definitely check that out. So, yeah. Watch Wolfwalkers, comment, like, subscribe to the channel, follow my social medias, and have a Merry Christmas, you filthy animals. Okay, bye.